Hello everyone, it is I, yes, Mark Major here at the Action Figuratorium. What is the Action Figuratorium, you're probably wondering? Well, I have a video facility that I own and operate here in Southeast Portland, and in the back of that facility is a smaller studio right behind me there where I keep all of my action figures, and that actually is the Action Figuratorium. We're in it right now. It's all around us, it surrounds us, it penetrates us, it's that kind of thing. So recently, I picked up an action figure that is a new addition to the Action Figuratorium, and I wanted to show you guys what it is and what it's all about because, to be honest with you, I wasn't expecting much, and I was kind of surprised with the quality when I got it. This is a 3.75 O-ring action figure that emulates the style of the 80s G.I. Joe. It's called Death Sparrow, and it's made by a company called Delta Toys. And we're going to take a look at it today because I think it's something worth mentioning without a doubt. So everybody, come together, strap on the leather, hold on tight. So let's cut over to the desktop view. Always exciting when we warp over. So this is a video on my channel that I did about 5 months ago. It's called Fad or Fab O-Ring Action Figure Renaissance. And in that video, I go through all the companies, all the indie guys and the big dogs, I'm talking the Hasbros, the Super 7s, who are making O-Ring action figures in the 3.75 scale, and I talk about each one and what they're doing. And in that video, I happen to have mentioned D17 Toys as a company that was producing these O-Ring action figures, although they weren't out yet, producing them, but they're doing it without a Kickstarter or an Indiegogo, which I thought was particularly interesting. And now that I actually have one in hand, we're going to take a look at it and see just how cool it is. But let's first mention the company that's making these guys and the other figures in the line, because I think we need to get kind of a big picture about this. So this is their website, Delta-17, or you could say D17 if you want. It's okay, it's a shorthand, we'll allow it. And they have these 7 figures here, come on cards with clamshells over them. And this is kind of their G.I. Joe hero team. Delta-17, also name of the company. These 7 guys, and they all look very sort of, like you'd expect. But then we get into what I'm assuming are the bad guys. Now, when I say I'm assuming, it's because I haven't read any of the comics or seen any videos or even read the back of the package for that matter. So I don't really know anything about this world, but I also don't really care. I really like the aesthetic of the figures, and having one in hand makes me think that this might be the kind of thing that it would behoove you to get kind of a few. So this team is called Retrograd, which sounds like some sort of weird Russian-Soviet team, and perhaps they are. This figure, Death Sparrow's got like a red star on her hat. Thought that was pretty cool. It's kind of the reason why I got it. There's also this team, Dark Shadows. It's these 3 sort of cyber ninjas. That's what I'm calling them. Are they cyber ninjas? I don't know. It doesn't really matter. It's just how you think of them. So that is the D17. And let me cue up now my video of the actual action figure itself. Here we go. So this is Death Sparrow in the package, and this is extremely well done. I'd have to say I was pleasantly surprised when I saw it. It's really well done as far as the artwork goes and the layout of this thing, both the front and the back. The quality of the printing is good. The cardboard is good. The plastic bubble is good. The trays that went into it to make all the things fit is particularly good. The design on the back here, I think, is excellent. They do an excellent way of doing the cross-sell, which is where you show the other figures in the series, like sort of just their heads. Of course, you've got that kind of card file in the middle, very G.I. Joe, and there's some sort of kind of wild picture up above it, and all the appropriate accoutrements at the bottom, copyright barcodes, things like that. These things, like, I don't know if they're like actually going to put these into a retail shop. I mean, they could. Any retailer could stock these and whatnot. but they're made to look like it. And I think that's particularly awesome in this case. They didn't have to do that, and yet they did it. I think that's kind of cool. So let's look at the figure itself. Here we go. Here she is. Now, this figure is in a uniform that is all black, and I would have thought that black boots are cooler than brown boots. However, then the figure would just be an entire mass of black, like a snake eyes. And I think having another color in there to sort of, you know, accent and whatnot. And so they went with brown, because then you can make the backpack brown, you can make the belts and the harness brown, and you know, the holster brown, that kind of thing. So gloves. So I think it's pretty good. Red might have been cool too. I guess they've got a little bit of red on the collar, and of course the star. But maybe if she had red gloves or something like that, I don't know. I think that there's some room. There might be a little bit of room to move on this. And you know what? If they ever, since they have the mold, if they ever decide to do like a variant of this figure in like a different colored outfit, I think that would be an interesting take on where they could go with some of this stuff. So there she is, and she's got her kind of World War II Soviet machine gun. A little bit of a sort of maybe a scowl, but maybe she's just sort of like a 1,000-yard stare, stern, focused person. Maybe she's a bit of a boss. Maybe she's a bit of a bitch. I don't know. According to the website, and when has a website ever lied to us? She is apparently the leader of this group. Now, a bit of a problem with that. And again, the lore doesn't really matter, so who cares? But, you know, generally a leader is going to have some kind of like a military general cap, or some kind of a weird hood dome thing like the Cobra Commander. They're not going to have the hat that like a private or a corporal wears. And they're also a leader of a team. And I'm going to say team, I don't mean like a platoon, I mean like of a faction. Leader of a faction. She's probably not going to have like a backpack. So she's really kind of just the leader of sort of a squad, in my opinion. And maybe the retrograd is just a squad. Who knows? Again, I didn't read the lore. Maybe they are actually a separate team that works with the Delta-17. And so they're just a small sort of cell within a cell. That could be a cool idea too. But the thing about this is, like, it's actually I have it right here, it's a really well-made figure in terms of the quality of the plastic, how it feels in your hands, the joints. It's all done very much like 80s G.I. Joe in terms of how it moves and where the pins are, and of course how the O-ring is. And the paint on it is particularly good. I don't know what factory they're using, but keep using this factory. So I have to say, right out of the gate, overall, really like this figure. I think it's a lot of fun. I think it has a lot of fun factor in it. Okay, now, before we close out this review, I think you've heard most of what people need to hear about a figure. They want to know if it's cheap, if it's crappy, or if it's, you know, gets them going, that kind of thing. The thing that you're probably wondering is, how does it Big Bear? Okay, when I say Big Bear, there was this guy in the G.I. Joe team, or in the G.I. Joe series, the toy line, called Big Bear, and he was this like Russian dude, red beard, the furry cap, that kind of thing. And this figure kind of evokes that figure, and so let's put the two together. All right, here we go. We got Big Bear and we got Death Sparrow. And you can see they both got sort of the red star on the cap, and so that makes them a good kind of team. Now, the Big Bear from G.I. Joe there, he's got a green uniform. In 1993, they did a version where he's in black, okay? I am going to get one of those. I'm not going to pay 37 bucks for it, but I'm going to get one of those, and I'm going to team these two up. And you know what? There's actually a couple other figures from another toy company out there, also in black and red uniforms with a red star. They're going to go great with this, and we're going to have sort of a tri-line retro Soviet-looking group of mercenaries, and for the most part they're going to be in all black. So I'm pretty excited about that. I think that that's a cool idea too. And if you saw anything on the Delta-17 site for a second there that you thought was particularly interesting, you should pick one up. You should definitely pick one up. They're only $25. I think $20, of course, is always a better price because, you know, with the shipping, eventually you're over 30 bucks just like that. But if you get 2 or 3 of them, maybe the shipping's not too bad and you're not too worried about it. But honestly, I think that these guys should be more in the $20 range, and encourage people to buy multiples. I got the one because I didn't want to chance it, but I am definitely going to be going back to these guys and looking through the other figures. And if I see something that's particularly cool on the website, probably going to pull the trigger. So thanks to everybody who has made it this far into the video. Really appreciate it. If you can subscribe to this channel, well, you'd be doing everyone a favor, including yourself. Don't have to tell people to like. I think you know if you like something, you like something. But I always enjoy reading comments. Every time I load up YouTube, there's always something, numbers by my bell of comments. And I cannot wait to see what people say, even if the people are slamming me. Because a lot of times, got to be perfectly honest, a lot of times they're right, and I'm willing to take it. So put it in the comments, and, you know, everybody continue. Stay charged.